June 2025 marks 3 years since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, a war many thought would end quickly. Russia, seen as a military superpower, expected Ukraine to collapse within days. Russian troops even packed dress uniforms for a victory parade in Kyiv. But this overconfidence led to exposed flanks, stretched supply lines, and a disastrously flawed strategy. Moscow underestimated Ukraine's resolve and overestimated its own military's capabilities. Logistical failures, poor communication, and outdated tactics quickly surfaced. The multi-pronged assault stretched Russian forces thin, making them vulnerable to Ukrainian counterattacks. Instead of a quick takeover, Russian troops met a nation united in defiance. Ukrainian soldiers, many with combat experience, fought tenaciously. Ordinary citizens formed territorial defense units, transforming the expected swift victory into a bloody, protracted struggle. The shock of Ukraine's resistance forced Russia to rethink its approach, but not before suffering significant losses. The war's early days set the stage for a long, grinding conflict. Russia's initial blunder was not just tactical, it was a fundamental misreading of Ukraine's spirit. This miscalculation continues to haunt Moscow's war effort. The stalled 40-mile convoy outside Kyiv became a symbol of Russia's logistical chaos. Fuel shortages, food scarcity, and mechanical breakdowns left Russian troops exposed to Ukrainian ambushes and drone strikes. Corruption and neglect meant much of Russia's vast arsenal was barely functional, rotting tires, missing parts, and unreliable vehicles. As of June 2025, Russia has lost nearly 22,000 military vehicles, including almost 13,000 tanks and armored vehicles. These losses are irreplaceable under sanctions, crippling Russia's offensive capabilities. Ukrainian forces have relentlessly targeted Russian supply lines, depots, and transport routes, keeping pressure on logistics. Russia is forced to divert resources to protect its rear, slowing advances and draining combat power. Equipment woes and logistical nightmares have plagued Russia from the start and show no sign of abating. Each destroyed tank or downed aircraft is a blow to Russia's ability to sustain the war. The myth of Russian military invincibility has been shattered. Ukraine's response has been defined by courage and unity. President Zelensky's refusal to flee Kyiv inspired his people and rallied global support. Ordinary citizens joined territorial defense units, volunteered, and adapted technology for the war effort. The invasion forged a stronger Ukrainian identity, uniting society across regional and political lines. Defending their homeland gives Ukrainians a powerful motivation that Russian troops lack. This unity and resolve have been a force multiplier, allowing Ukraine to withstand a numerically superior enemy. The psychological edge of fighting for home and freedom cannot be overstated. Ukraine's spirit has become its greatest weapon. Ukraine's resilience is bolstered by unprecedented international support, over $100 billion in aid. Western nations have supplied advanced weaponry, financial assistance, and humanitarian relief. HIMARS rocket launchers, modern tanks, and F-16 jets have helped Ukraine strike deep and challenge Russian forces. NATO training since 2014 modernized Ukraine's military, making it more flexible and effective. This groundwork paid off when the full-scale invasion began. Recent aid pledges from the Netherlands, Belgium, Norway, and others signal ongoing commitment. Joint arms procurement and co-production initiatives aim to strengthen Ukraine's long-term defense. International support has leveled the playing field and kept Ukraine in the fight. The West's resolve remains a critical factor in Ukraine's survival. Without this backing, Ukraine's resistance would have been far more difficult. Ukraine has outmaneuvered Russia with smart tactics and innovative technology. Mobile defense, ambushes, and Western-supplied anti-tank missiles have devastated Russian columns. Drones, both commercial and military, have transformed the battlefield, enabling precision strikes and real-time intelligence. Starlink satellite internet has kept Ukrainian units connected, even under cyber and electronic attack. Deep strikes into Russian territory and successful air defenses have further eroded Russia's capabilities. Ukrainian ingenuity has turned the tide in many battles. Technology and adaptability have offset Russia's numerical advantage. The war's front lines are now shaped as much by innovation as by firepower. Russian military corruption has crippled its war effort. Funds siphoned, equipment neglected, and readiness exaggerated. The result: failing gear, poor logistics, and low troop morale. Russia's human cost is staggering. Over 790,000 troops killed or injured with daily casualties mounting. To fill the ranks, Russia relies on poorly trained conscripts and even prisoners, eroding combat effectiveness. International sanctions have choked Russia's access to critical technology, slowing weapon production and repair. The war and sanctions have triggered a brain drain. 800,000 skilled Russians have left since 2022. This exodus weakens Russia's economy and innovation, compounding its military struggles. Sanctions and internal decay are as damaging as Ukrainian resistance. Russia's ability to sustain the war is under relentless pressure. The cracks in Moscow's war machine are widening. Russia's blitzkrieg has devolved into a grinding war of attrition, with minimal territorial gains at enormous cost. In 2024, Russia seized just 0.4% of Ukraine's territory. In early 2025, only 0.2%. Each square kilometer gained costs Russia dearly, about 167 casualties per kilometer. Ukraine too pays a heavy price, hundreds of thousands of troops and civilians killed or wounded, millions displaced, and a battered economy. Despite the devastation, Ukraine's defenders hold the line, denying Russia its objectives. Western support, Ukrainian resilience, and Russia's own failings have changed the war's course. A swift Russian victory is now a distant memory. Ukraine's fight for survival continues, a testament to its unbreakable spirit. The world watches as Ukraine's future hangs in the balance. What do you hope for Ukraine's future and the path to peace?